Hello, boys and ghouls. Welcome to episode 115 of Dads from the Crypt, Tales from the Crypt podcast. My name is Jason. I'm joined by Mondo.
Hey.
Hey. And tonight, we're joined by two wonderful returning guests. First is our fun Aunt Whitney.
Hello.
And the second is not the director of Avengers Endgame. Sorry to disappoint everyone, but his name is Joe Russo. Welcome back.
Thank you, guys. Glad to be back.
Thanks for coming on.
All right.
115 episodes.
That's a lot of episodes, guys.
How many times I've almost quit and I'm still here?
That's not even counting our interview episodes, too. This is just like full on.
Jeez.
So, yeah, if you kind of hold on, it'll be much higher. Yeah, 5,000. 3,000.
Feels that way.
I know. All right, so this is our Halloween episode. We're going to be reviewing Trick or Treat, but before we get to that, I just want to give our guest a moment to catch up. Whitney, what you've been working on? Anything you want to plug?
Just doing Oh My Horror. ohmyhorror.com is my 52-week movie challenge. So essentially a different movie theme every week. You can join in anytime. There's even a submission form if you want to, watch along with this movie challenge. You can submit your letterbox list. I think right now we are in Vampire Week. Like the month of October is more like last week was witches. Now we're vampires. When this comes out, it'll probably be like Halloween themed movies, which Trick or Treat is a perfect movie for Halloween.
All right. And Joe, the writer's strike is over. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yes, I can finally go back to work and selling screenplays again, hopefully. It was a long summer, guys. Long summer. What's that?
I said hopefully get compensated fairly now for that.
Right.
Yeah, or at least compensated more adequately.
Period, honestly.
Yeah, no, it was a long summer. It was a very successful campaign. As of this recording, the actors are still on strike though, so that's the industry isn't quite back to where we would like it to be. I've got two movies that are kind of just frozen in space waiting for SAG to resolve their issues, which is they need to get a fair deal too, but it's still kind of frustrating just watching those projects sit there on ice. But yeah, just getting back into the groove, starting to remember what it was like to take meetings with producers and executives and be like, oh yeah, this is what I used to do, not just walk in circles with picket signs.
Really got your steps in though.
I did, but not as many as you would think, because I was a strike captain, so I had like other duties other than just walking in circles. Yeah. So I didn't quite, lose as much weight as I had hoped to this summer.
Well, we appreciate all of your efforts.
I also think Drew Carey buying us lunch at Swingers every day was probably had something to do with that too.
That's cool of him though. I'm glad it was cool to see. It was.
He's like, he was a godsend. It was amazing.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It's definitely how people acted, I think, during that strike makes me think, more highly or less of them.
Yeah.
I mean, I won't name names, Drew Barrymore, but
different Drew.
The other Drew.
Two Drew.
Yeah,
I was trying to figure out what that rhymes with Drew so I can make up a name. I couldn't think of a name that rhymes with Drew.
Drew
in a world of Drew, it's Drew Carey and not a Drew Barrymore.
That's a soundbite right there. I'm just kidding. Somebody sued. It was cool seeing some of the celebrities. Some of the I know The Rock was sending food to people. And, I think Bill Burr said he sent everybody donuts one morning. It is cool to see celebrities who have the money to help support everybody.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, I was at one of the smaller studio lots, so we didn't get quite as much love from the celebrities, but we had our fair share of things. Like David Goyer, the writer of Dark Knight, sent a food truck one day. So we got some the showrunner of Riverdale sent a taco truck one time. So like we had our share of free food. It was yeah, and then I worked with a charity group, and they raised some money and they brought food around. Like they would bring sandwiches and stuff, and it was amazing. Like there was
That's
just
awesome
to see like the generosity of just everyone out there, even writers who aren't in the WGA yet, where like they were organizing like pizza funds on Twitter where people could send money, cool. And then they used the money from that they raised via Venmo, and then went and bought pizzas for all the different picket lines. It was really cool to see how many people came out to support us, and how many people did just incredible things. It was awesome. It renewed my faith in humanity a little bit, all while the studios were telling us they wanted us to lose our homes. So it was a weird emotional balance, but luckily, I had the day the strike ended, this big genre film festival in LA, Beyond Fest, started, and I basically just like lived there for 2 weeks and saw a lot of cool movies. I got to see James Cameron in person. I got to see Guillermo del Toro in person. Nice. Nicolas Cage in person. It was awesome. So like it kind of was like, oh yeah, this is why I love movies. But I'm really excited to be here for the Halloween episode. Jason very kindly saved a masterpiece of a movie for me to come on and talk about, and I just like, this is a movie I love, and I'm excited to just geek out about it with you guys.
Excellent. Well, let's
spoiler alert. I think we're gonna be I'll be very positive on this movie.
I hate this film.
Oh, it's terrible.
Oh no, what?
So derivative.
Well, it's funny that you were talking about like things getting tabled, because I mean, talking about films that have been tabled, Trick or Treat, yeah. I mean, forever to be released.
I know. Oh, nice.
I gotta get mine.
It's a toonie pair.
Actually, I have it teed up. So again, we're talking Trick or Treat tonight. Technically, it debuted at various film festivals in 2007 and was supposed to get a theatrical release. But Warner Brothers decided to hold off and dump it on DVD, straight to DVD, no theater release officially.
Well, it did get an official theater release this year, actually.
Last year.
Yeah.
Last year. When did it actually come out on video? Was it 2009?
2009. I don't have a date.
It was like 2 years later. It just sat on the shelf.
Yeah, this is one of those things where, like, even if you go to conventions, you could find like bootlegs kind of things were kind of leaking around, or you can go to like certain like a Beyond Fest type of convention. It's kind of a mythical thing, and the behind the scenes story had a lot to do with the troubles behind Superman Returns, directed by Bryan Singer, who produced this, and Superman Returns was written by Michael Dougherty, who directed this movie. So I think they're just kind of on Warner Brothers shit list, and they decided to take it out on this movie for whatever petty reason.
I mean, it's also kind of interesting because you go back to 2003 when House of 1,000 Corpses came out.
Yeah.
And I was hearing about that movie in high school. Like, he finished that movie years ahead. I think in the 2000s, there was like this reluctance from studios to take a chance on horror. Whereas I think those movies, if they were made today, like they have no problem getting distribution and getting out there, especially with the amount of avenues we have to consume media nowadays.
Yeah, I mean, Skinamarink
I can relate to this movie a little bit because of that.
Yeah.
So, I had a movie that is currently in limbo and has been in limbo for a little while. It's done. I actually just screened it for some friends last night, kind of like bootleg style. But we don't know when it's going to come out. And it's an insanely frustrating place to be.
I can imagine.
No. So I can empathize with Michael Dougherty on this, and but it is really amazing to see kind of how Trick or Treat came back from this kind of setback and has literally become, probably in my estimation, the biggest Halloween classic since maybe Hocus Pocus, or maybe even Halloween itself.
Yeah.
I mean, don't forget about Halloween Town. Okay.
Yes, you're right.
Or
yes,
obviously
the pillars of Halloween.
Yes.
I was saying we can't leave out Adam Sandler's Hubie Halloween either.
Yeah, I was just
Okay.
trying to say that.
Well,
Joe, have you ever met Michael Dougherty?
I have met Michael Dougherty. We had him on the first season of the podcast I produced, Postmortem with Mick Garris.
Right.
We had him on right after he finished shooting his Godzilla movie, and I feel like he was still jet lagged from his flight back, and but he was awesome, and I was really happy to do it because that was like our Halloween episode that year. So it felt like he was the right guest for it. And then most recently, the last time I saw him was last year at Beyond Fest. They screened Trick or Treat in like a 1,000-seat theater, and it was incredible. It was like a rock concert. I mean, everybody who was there loved this movie. And it's just I do wonder sometimes if it had just been released, no drama, would we have sought it out, and would it have become this kind of fascination, this cultural fascination? I don't know.
I do think it did build up a mythology almost behind it, but I do think the quality of the movie would have propelled it either way.
Yeah, I hope so.
I do think the excitement for it was probably bigger because of that, but I think it still would have been very successful. I saw Michael Dougherty at Monsterpalooza, where he premiered the new Godzilla King of the Monsters trailer. It was the first trailer that showed King Ghidorah.
Nice.
And they actually played it twice because everyone started chanting, "Play it again." And he did a Q&A, and someone asked, "Are you gonna do Trick or Treat 2?" He's like, "Well, if enough people go see my other movies."
That's why I went in theaters, because I was like, no one would go with me, which is fine. I love a solo movie trip, but I was like, I'm going to this because I want to Trick or Treat 2 really badly.
All right. Well, let's get into the movie.
Teasing that forever, and
I know.
I'm getting a little tired of getting teased. But I do have one other Michael Dougherty story if you want to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't know why I didn't start with this. The first time I met him was actually before Postmortem. It's the only reason I had his email address to get him on Postmortem. There was actually there's a Ray Bradbury story called Halloween Tree. You ever heard of it? Yeah. And so I had found out that the rights were available to that story. And so I reached out to Michael Dougherty, and I was like, I wonder if he likes this, And I was like, would you want to do a Halloween Tree movie? And he was like, yes, absolutely, yes. Cool. And we had a meeting at the production company I was working at, and it was like a wonderful meeting, and he was so excited about it. But my boss at the time, he was a little gun shy about plunking down the money for the rights before we knew we had a filmmaker of note interested. And in the time between checking on it and having the meeting with Mike, the rights got scooped up. And that was the end of my adventures.
And nothing's even... Tree. And it's not even... There's no Halloween Tree.
No, nothing ever got made from it. Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
it's frustrating. And every year or two I check in and I'm like, are the rights available again? They're like, nope, they still got it. And I'm like, who has the friggin' rights? And they're just sitting on it for 10 years now.
Elon Musk.
Probably. Wouldn't surprise me.
All right. We're going to get into it. So this is kind of not a traditional anthology per se, where it's almost more like a Pulp Fiction, which I don't know what you call that, what term that there is for that word.
It's not an anthology.
The stories are more interwoven.
It's an anthology.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's an anthology, but it's more, usually the anthology we've covered before are more separate stories. There might be one central wraparound that's telling the stories, but here everything's intermixed. We're having the stories interact with each other.
I think they call that a really good anthology is the technical term. I think.
All right, so I broke it out with the kind of pieces, so we'll just kind of go through each of those. All right, so we start with what's called the opening. In the opening sequence, Emma and her Halloween-loving husband Henry return from a celebratory night. Emma, who hates Halloween, blows out their jack-o'-lantern before midnight against Henry's superstitious advice. As Henry
Emma
relaxes,
sucks.
as Henry relaxes and falls asleep in the house while watching a porno? Question mark. Emma begins tearing.
It's the tape. Like, she says, "Go put
yes,
on the tape."
Quote, tape. But,
I will say she might not be cool about Halloween, but she is cool with the tape. So,
which again, thinking about having something actually on tape in the year 2007 when this came out, probably made like 2006.
It was an important question because Kel, my wife and I had this discussion before the show. What is he dressed up as? I can't tell if it's supposed to be something medieval or a spaceman or what.
I thought it was a knight.
He doesn't like. That's what I thought at first too. Yeah, but then she's a robot from outer space. I don't know.
Her costume is so stupid for somebody also that doesn't like Halloween because you picked the most complicated costume to possibly walk around in, and I know she was walking around because we saw her later at the parade. So why?
Okay, let me finish, and then we'll get into all these.
The husband might have been like, just please put the robot outfit on.
All right. As Henry relaxes and falls asleep, Emma begins tearing down the decorations, but is then ambushed and murdered by an unseen assailant. Hours later, Henry discovers her mutilated corpse on display with the decorations and a candy of some sort. I don't know what you like a lollipop, big sucker,
pumpkin lollipop,
shoved in their mouth. Okay. Question. So I've never been. My family wasn't like the most Halloween people in the world, and we did like the basics. But is the whole blowing out the jack-o'-lantern before midnight really a thing?
Never heard of it.
I never heard of it.
For the first time I heard of it.
No.
I will say that it is now.
In 2023, we use tea lights.
Yeah, no one's using candles anymore. It's dangerous.
So okay, I've always wondered if it was made up for the movie or if that was like some tradition I just never heard of.
I know Halloween.
Some tradition that it's like based off of, but I think like some of the rules are definitely just to make like the spirit.
I mean, what's the legend of the jack-o'-lantern? They lit them up.
Sorry, Mando. Go ahead.
Well, they were in a turnip originally. They weren't even in a pumpkin originally.
I said, knowing Mike, I would assume that all of the Halloween mythology is pretty accurate. He goes pretty hardcore during Halloween. So
nice.
But I had never heard
and then again,
but I do it now. I don't let the candle burn out before yeah.
I mean, we know you haven't because you're here. If not, like Sam would have killed you, so it'd have been
right. So I mean, exactly. It always cracks me up how over the top Emma is about her hatred of Halloween. Like, really, like there's still people trick-or-treating while she's doing this.
Dude, so I would say I don't understand it because of my love and adoration for Halloween, but that's pretty much how I am around Christmas time at all times. Just like fuck this holiday, fuck these lights.
Would you on Christmas, while people are still celebrating Christmas, start taking down your tree and all your decorations?
Okay, so
I would love to do that. Yes, I would love to.
We're not talking about Christmas. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's the Krampus episode, guys. Jeez.
I looked it up, and it seems like the history of like the jack-o'-lantern, and like what it was used for was to light, lost souls home. So there's probably this tradition of if you blew that out, then the soul couldn't find its way home. So I imagine maybe, I can't find like an exact tradition, but it seems like since that was kind of where the jack-o'-lantern came from, like it probably is like people being like, don't blow that out, Grandpa Saul can't get home or something.
That's in Dios de los Muertos in this house in Mexico, all your candles, everything you leave out as offerings to the dead because the dead are supposed to come back. And makes sense.
That makes sense.
I think the thing that bugs me the most about that scene isn't that she blows out the jack-o'-lantern, it's that she starts putting away their Halloween decorations on Halloween night because her mom is coming the next day and she's going to be mad when she sees it. I'm like, who shows up on November 1st and is mad and that the decorations are
She's
still
a Jehovah's Witness.
Well, also look at all the neighbors, all their decorations. It's not like they're the only house on the block. Like, she's offended by Halloween decorations.
Go to bed. Like, go watch your tape and go to bed and get up early. Like, what time is your mom arriving that you don't have like an hour? And it's going to take you time. It's not like 2 seconds of bringing a pumpkin in. Like,
and they went hard on those decorations.
He went hard. Clearly,
okay,
she probably had nothing to do with that.
All right, and then
again, Jehovah's Witness. That's my theory. She never got to grow up doing Halloween, but she still wants a relationship with her mother.
Yeah, so then we kind of get like a nice little cartoon intro, kind of comic book style, very like EC Comics, a little creep show style. That's always fun. I always like that. That kind of gives us like hints of what's coming.
Yeah.
You know what you missed?
Have y'all read the comic or the graphic novel?
I must have read it a long time ago because it's.
Yeah, I have it. Recommend it. It's good.
Nice.
You missed at the very beginning, Jason. Though there's the Trick or Treats commercial.
Oh, the video, the black and white.
Yeah, the video, like how to trick or treat when you're a kid. It's great. I think it perfectly sets the mood.
That's good.
You know.
Yeah, now per IMDb, that was made for the trailer, and Michael Dougherty liked it so much he decided to put that in the movie, which is kind of cool.
Amazing.
For as much as people bag on trailers, it's kind of cool when the trailer, like reaction to the trailer, improves the movie.
I mean, Sonic the Hedgehog was basically saved because of backlash to the trailer.
I don't want to see that version. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh God.
And for the record, it was a good movie. I actually really enjoyed that movie.
No, I like that movie too.
I'm really glad that they did that.
Hot take.
I don't like a lot of gamer lashback. Sonic movie is really good. I hate gamer lashback, but that time they were correct. So
yeah,
I'm glad that they changed it.
I read about the backlash. I'm like, okay, are these just people like nerding out to a level they shouldn't be? Then I watched a trailer. I was like, oh yeah, that's like I'm on the petition, signing the petition. Like fuck this.
All right, then we move on to the principal. At least that's what it's called on the Wikipedia. Charlie, an overweight child who vandalizes jack-o'-lanterns, is caught stealing candy from an unattended bowl left by his school principal, Stephen Wilkins. Seemingly taking the offense in stride, Wilkins offers Charlie a candy bar, while lecturing Charlie about the importance of respecting Halloween rules and traditions. Charlie gradually feels more unwell until he begins to vomit chocolate and blood. As Charlie dies, Wilkins reveals that he laced the candy with cyanide, remarking, "You should always check your candy." While clumsily attempting to hide the murder, he hands out candy to trick-or-treaters, including Sam. How would you describe Sam? He's
a little burlap sack boy with a pumpkin head.
He's an ancient deity.
That too. He's the soul of Samhain.
Okay, yeah, he might be an ancient deity, but I can't. I'm just not going to be afraid of something wearing footy pajamas.
Yeah.
Actually, he doesn't have a pumpkin head. I was watching Dark Harvest last night, so I got pumpkin head on the brain.
No, he has a little pumpkin head under his sack.
Yes.
That's right, under his sack.
Yeah.
This is what he looks like, friends.
That's right.
Wilkins attempts to bury Charlie in his backyard along with the body of another victim, who I guess is his wife. That's what I was assuming.
I think that's the assumption.
So it's interesting because we're talking about the same thing, but there's like a clown arm. Maybe she must have been dressed up as a clown.
Wait, there's two.
Or maybe it's just like
in the grave.
Mm-hmm.
I've never noticed that.
Yeah, there's a body before he throws the other body in.
About
the kid also, by the way, just a side note, the kid's from Bad Santa. Like, I feel like those are the only two movies he ever did. It was like Bad Santa and this, and I rewatch these movies all the time.
I love Bad Santa.
Bad Santa, believe me, has its issues, especially nowadays. But it's but he is that kid has he's a comedic genius. He has comedic timing down.
Yeah,
the way he delivers his lines.
But I feel like he has an outsized importance in my life because he hasn't done anything since really. But yet I see him and I rewatch these movies with him in it all the time.
I hope he's making just a good, he's probably not making a multi-millionaire off royalties. I hope he's got a good living off royalties and he's just enjoying his life.
Yeah,
I hope so too.
Okay, Wilkins is continually interrupted by his young son Billy and his cankerous elderly neighbor Mr. Krieg and Mr. Krieg's dog Spite. The other victim turns out to be alive and struggles in his sack, forcing Wilkins to violently beat him to death with a shovel before anyone can discern the noise. When Wilkins returns indoors, he briefly notices that Krieg is screaming for help at the window. Wilkins brushes him off before something seems to attack him. Wilkins guides Billy downstairs to carve a jack-o'-lantern, holding a knife behind his back. After some hesitation, Wilkin appears to stab Billy. However, Billy is unharmed. It is revealed that the knife was plunged into Charlie's severed head and the jack-o'-lantern they are about to carve.
It's a good twist.
So
this segment has the best quotes. Charlie Brown's an asshole is like the best thing that he yells, and it makes me laugh every single time. And as you mentioned, the way that line is delivered is just so good. And I also love, don't forget to help me with the eyes.
Yes. That kid is so cute.
So cute. And he's like, Billy Wilkins.
Little moppet. Because you're like, I remember the first time I saw it, I was like super concerned for that kid.
Yeah, that kid's gonna fucking. You should still be concerned for that kid at the end. Because
I was thinking about the Charlie Brown as an asshole line. In Krampus, the kid really wants to watch Charlie Brown. I thought that was like a really interesting dichotomy between these two Michael Dougherty holiday horror movies. Is one little kid thinks Charlie Brown's an asshole, and the other one can't wait to watch Charlie Brown. So I think it's both sides of Mike's personality coming through.
He's like, Charlie Brown Halloween sucks, but Charlie Brown Christmas is good.
I do find it very funny that Wilkins is trying to get the dog off his back, so he breaks off a finger and throws it to him. Like that's
like
evidence,
that's not going to come back as evidence somehow.
Right, or like
not if the dog eats it.
True,
but but sometimes dogs don't finish something and they leave it behind or whatever.
Yeah,
Someone sees a human finger laying around, it's going to raise some suspicion.
It feels very loose for someone who is clearly a serial killer.
Hey, serial killers sometimes make mistakes, and that's how they get caught.
Oh, he makes a mistake, all right. We'll get to that. But yeah, no, this is a very fun. It's very playful. What's his name? Dylan
Baker.
Dylan Baker. He just has like that
He's
creepy
that guy.
Yeah, he just has like a creepy demeanor over like a really white bread looking guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he's ever played like a normal, nice man.
Mm-hmm.
He's very creepy.
He's got a very fun role coming up in the new Nick Cage movie Dream Scenario.
I want to see that.
Yeah.
Oh, is that the A24 one?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's a very cool movie. Highly recommend.
Now the trailer looks fun.
Yeah, and the boy puking out that like chocolatey, like bloody vomit.
That's
it's so over the top.
It's so much. My wife is always like, "Oh God, really lower the volume," or she goes in another room. Like it's too much for her every time.
So
and that was the always check your candy rule.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So was the principal just wait? So I guess the principal came up behind him. So he's just like waiting in his car for that specific child to come up to his house.
I think it was any child who broke the rules of only take one piece of candy.
Yeah.
Oh, so it wasn't targeting that.
Also, that child sucked. He was like knocking over people's pumpkins. Yeah. So I don't really feel bad for him.
I'm not saying he deserved it, but
he deserved it.
He deserved that, but he deserved something.
Disrespecting Halloween.
A good scare.
No disrespect for Halloween.
Yeah.
Get fucked.
All right. The next segment is called Halloween School Bus Massacre. Ooh. A group of teenage trick-or-treaters, Macy, Chip, Schrader, and Sarah, are collecting jack-o'-lanterns when they meet devout Halloween traditionalist Rhonda.
AC Schrader.
What's up?
Sorry. Nothing. Sorry.
The group, led by Macy, visits a flooded quarry where she recounts the urban legend of the Halloween school bus massacre. In the legend, the weary and resentful parents of 8 disabled children bribed their school bus driver to dispose of them. Before the driver could complete his plan, one child escapes his shackles and took control of the bus, accidentally driving it off a cliff into the quarry. The children drowned, though the driver survived. Macy leaves jack-o'-lanterns by the lake as a tribute to the deceased. The group splits up, leaving Rhonda and Chip behind. Rhonda is pursued by horrifying figures, but once she is hurt while being chased and reduced to tears, the other teens reveal that it was them all along. Disguised as the dead children attempt to prank her, all played by Macy. Macy sucks. Schrader realizes that the trick has gone too far and tries to comfort the terrified Rhonda, while a bitter Macy kicks a javelin into the water. The actual undead kids emerge from the lake and attack the teens. Rhonda coldly abandons them to their deaths as revenge for the prank. As Rhonda leaves, she encounters Sam and exchanges a nod of respect towards him.
I have thoughts on this one. So, props to her for not giving in to the guy that tried to be nice after being a dick for all this time.
Yeah.
She's like, just fuck this guy. Like, so I like the fact that she left him behind too. I thought she was going to save him, and I was so happy when she let him die.
Probably the thing that's most dated about this whole movie is Rhonda's nickname. No, can't use that nickname anymore.
Real bad.
Yeah,
real bad vibes.
Early
but the movie's still good.
Vibe.
Yeah.
And also, like, as the parent of a special needs kid, the whole murder pack thing is like really fucking dark.
Oh, it's so awful. Yeah. But I will say it's filmed super well because they do that like sepia tone. The masks are really creepy, but it is so devastating and awful. Yeah. And I hope all those parents feel terrible, and I hope they all die horrific deaths.
It's interesting. They first mentioned there are these. They call them like wicked children, or they use some weird term. And I was kind of like, I thought they were just supposed to be mentally handicapped. I didn't think they were.
I think they are.
And
but that's like how they thought.
Yeah, that's how it was. Yeah. But before we get
I think it was like
into
difficult children.
What was going on with the gym teacher at the party where they trick or treated and asked for a pumpkin?
Yeah.
Gym teachers like
a weird non sequitur. The swinger party
in a furry costume actually having sex in front of these kids, like.
Yeah.
And the mom offering them alcohol. These are not just like. These seem like more like close to, at least to me, it seemed close to like middle schoolers or like maybe early high schoolers.
Yeah, it was definitely 8th graders.
Yeah.
7th, 8th grade. If they're still like kind of trick or treating, that's like middle school age where it's like, we're not really trick or treating. We're doing this like pumpkin thing, but we're still dressing up. But it's like that transition of like,
it looks
it's
really
still fun.
I don't know what's going on there. It looks like a good time.
Offers them alcohol.
Yeah.
She offers them alcohol when they come to the door. She's like, "You guys want a drink?" I won't tell them. Like, that's terrible parenting.
Sounds like some parents I knew growing up in small towns who were like, "If you're gonna drink at my home at least." And it's like, I don't know if you should encourage that still.
She was like, "Give them a drink," and
out there.
She was like, "Give them a drink and send them on their way, or invite them into their swinger party."
Either way,
holy
shit! She needs to be investigated.
Great parenting.
And I like that the kids they're collecting jack-o'-lanterns in honor of UNICEF.
Yes.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
That was great.
You're gonna help those kids with your rotted pumpkins.
Have you guys ever done any charity work for UNICEF?
No.
I have.
No.
Did
you trick or treat for UNICEF?
I got roped into it once. My old boss, the same one who blew the Michael Dougherty Halloween tree thing, he had me. It was actually a really cool opportunity. I got to direct Ewan McGregor for like a little UNICEF spot, which is kind of cool.
That is one handsome man. That is a handsome guy.
Yeah. It was he read a Hans Christian Andersen story for charity. So basically I just basically hit, record. Like that was about all the directing I needed to give him. He was a pro, but I got a nice photo with him after, so that's kind of cool.
That's cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Whenever I hear her say they're getting pumpkins for UNICEF, I think of my time with Ewan.
I bet Ewan McGregor would have given them a pumpkin and not invited them to a swingers party.
He might. Like, I don't know. He's in Hollywood.
Don't say that.
No. Like, you McGregor just seems like the kind of guy you just want to like read you a bedtime story while you fall asleep. Like he's got that voice, and you're just gonna fall asleep and drift off into your slumber and think about dragons and wizards and pine cones.
Considering the awkward age difference between Anakin and Queen Amidala in The Phantom Menace and Obi-Wan encouraging that, I don't know what he would approve of.
That's like George Lucas's fault more than Ewan,
More than
okay?
Ewan
Because there was
McGregor's?
also
I
like
don't
Mark
know.
Hamill wanting to kiss Leia.
Also, I would say he's unknowingly encouraged. I don't think he's like trying to set them up or anything.
I'm not gonna. This is too much Phantom Menace talk in my life.
This is a podcast about the Phantom Menace. When are we doing the Phantom Menace episode?
That'll be for our Patreon.
I want to talk about trade
to.
embargoes in space.
$666 tier. You can listen to an episode on the Phantom Menace.
I would totally get high as fuck and just rip the Phantom Menace. That'd be great. Like,
no one's ever going to do it any better than
$1. Let me do this.
Yeah.
You don't have to like do it. You could just do that. It doesn't have to be an episode.
Yeah.
Live your dreams.
So how do some of these segments, like this one especially, because once you know kind of what's happening, you've seen it this movie enough times. How does this one stand up? Like, does it keep your interest, or knowing what the fake outs are?
This segment?
Is it? Yeah,
or just the movie in general?
This segment might be my like weakest, but I still think it's really strong. I think it's just like once like they're picking on her. I don't know. I was a bullied kid, so it's like I am so glad those kids got what was going to them. And by weakest segments, like one of them has to be the weakest,
right?
And somehow like. And honestly, Rhonda's wig is terrible. Like, it's so bad. So that's why it's the weakest. They couldn't
I
given her a better wig.
Rhonda, though. I love how much Rhonda loves Halloween. I too like to carve a lot of jack-o'-lanterns.
Yeah.
So like I can relate to her
so
that way.
Pumpkins.
Also, we both wear glasses, and
Mm-hmm.
her glasses falling off. I can relate to that too. That's a horrible experience.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Whitney's right. Like it's just a cathartic segment though. Like watching the bullies get their comeuppance. It's definitely like
watching
it's a
kids
slower
get killed.
vibe. It's a moodier vibe, but I dig it, man.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. It's very moody. It's very foreboding. And again, if you don't know what the twist is going to be, it's very spooky. But yeah, I think it drags on a little bit just because we know what's coming, so we're not as invested.
Like the first like going down to the bottom is like what an elaborate plan too. Like it's very.
I would have liked to know more about Rhonda though, because I do think she's a very interesting character.
Yeah, like who's her parents? Is she supported at home?
And why are they?
When she's rattling off all of her Halloween facts,
bullies she's never met before.
Yeah, where are your parents?
Yeah,
I like that when she, like you talk about when she's rattling off all her Halloween facts. It's just cool. I can hear people that are that passionate about that subject.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and
as I said, it's.
I would have been her friend.
Yeah,
me too.
I did want to see. I want to
Justice
see like one
for
more.
Rhonda.
Yeah, like I want to see Macy get like. I don't know.
Fucking Macy, dude.
I know. That character pisses me off every time.
Good actors, though, for the kids.
Yeah.
They're not like
really
little children, but they're still like old enough that you're like, you are shitty.
You know
can
better.
Be killed. I don't care.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's move on to the surprise party. So again, as we see each of these, we've been seeing different characters throughout, like running into each other. So like these characters in this one we've seen like before in the other ones as well. So especially Laurie, played by Anna Paquin, is a self-conscious 22-year-old. She joins her sister Danielle and her friends Maria and Janet for Halloween, winding up with a Little Red Riding Hood costume. And this is one thing that I find is funny is choosing your costume the night of Halloween in like the busiest town and like the busiest store.
Absolutely not. There would be nothing in there.
Mm-hmm.
It would be picked over. And also those are like the fanciest, nicest Halloween costumes.
Yeah.
Those costumes have to cost like $200. Easy.
Yeah.
And they're just like, we're just gonna wear them out. Where are your clothes? I guess it doesn't matter, but like you had to have come in with clothes on.
Right.
I guess it doesn't matter. They're like, I don't need them tonight. They get ripped anyway.
Turn into werewolves, so it doesn't even matter.
It doesn't matter, I guess.
Have you ever actually gotten a costume on Halloween night?
Oh God, no.
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 Because like the store is it's stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Like,
and also
there wouldn't be anything.
It's a madhouse too. It's like the whole town's getting their costumes that night.
Ugh.
And it reminds me of people in movies, characters who put their Christmas tree up on Christmas Eve.
Or the people that do their Christmas shopping on Christmas Eve. Like, I'm sorry, you had a whole month to get ready for this.
Those people don't have anxiety because, like, if I'm not done with my Christmas shopping 2 weeks before Christmas, I have anxiety.
I've been doing my Christmas shopping since August.
All right. While the other girls pick up their dates, Lori declines in favor of staying to enjoy the town festival instead. Later on the way to meet her friends, she's attacked by a hooded man dressed as a vampire. A bundle of red cloth falls out of a tree, revealing the bloodied and frightened vampire. After Lori remarks that he bit her, Lori's friends unmask the man, revealing to be Principal Steve Wilkins, who has been seeking out victims at the festival. Lori's friends shed their clothes and then their skin to transform into werewolves over Marilyn Manson's Sweet Dreams.
Yeah.
With it being her first time consuming someone, Lori transforms and devours Wilkins. Sam, sitting on a nearby log, watches as the werewolves feast on their deceased dates.
So my wife has a hot take about this segment. She thinks it should have ended the movie. She thinks the werewolf is how the movie should have ended. I do not agree with this.
That, except for the whole.
I'm just literally putting out here for podcast.
I like that. No, I think that'd be. I get it. I get it. You know, you have the iconic early 2000s, late 90s. By the way, can we stop using that song in movies? Period. Anymore?
First off, that's the very old movie, but that is a very good song for the scene.
Oh yeah,
it works for the scene, especially when it was made.
I'm shouting at movies nowadays that are still using that song, like to do a trailer, when we obviously know the person that recorded that song is not the best person in the world.
Right.
He's a horrible person. Yes,
he is a terrible human being. He'd fit it right in with Led Zeppelin.
One thing about this segment, I love the werewolf. I love the transformation. I love how you think it's like, oh, it's my first time, blah blah blah, and then it's like you think she's going to be the victim. I don't get Principal Wilkins running around with fake vampire teeth, and we see him quote unquote kill someone earlier. It's like, with your fake teeth, how sharp are these? She popped them out, and why is he doing that? Is he just trying to kill people in all these multiple ways? You're killing kids with candy, you're killing clowns, you're killing maybe your wife. You killed your wife. What is his deal?
He's just a lonely widower who's going to a little party, try to find some women.
I mean,
how are you killing someone with fake teeth?
No, my take on it is that he's just going for it tonight. He's lost. He's pretty much gone out of his mind and is just going balls to the wall. I think he literally killed his wife very recently, and now he's just fuck it, I got nothing left. I'm just gonna go live out all my deranged serial killer fantasies.
I think
her friends were trying to make her go pick that man that was dressed up as a baby, which that was just fucking rude and disrespectful.
Yeah. I do love the foreshadowing in all of this, the way that her and their friends are talking about how they went somewhere, and I forget, there's a line
it's so obvious the second time.
Well, the second time, yeah, the first time they're I couldn't party because I was sick because I ate Mexican. You're like, no, you ate Mexican food, you ate.
Oh.
And then another part where they're talking about they called Lori the runt of the litter.
Yeah. There's a lot of werewolf lore phrasing that doesn't pick up the first time, which is why I think this is a great rewatch film, because there's so many people in the background, the timelines all over the place, and you can just kind of pick and it's like the Leonardo DiCaprio. You can point at your screen and be like, ooh, robot in the background, that's the girl. It's gonna get lollipop death.
Yeah, there's so many little details that you forget about every time, or apparently miss every time, like the two bodies in the grave.
I'd never noticed that.
Yeah, I gotta go. I'm like, fuck, I gotta go watch it again. But no, I think I don't necessarily agree with my wife that this should be the end of the movie, but it does feel very climactic. And the werewolf transformation is incredible.
I see
like,
what
one of the
I see what
better
your wife
ones
is
on
saying. That
screen.
this is
It holds up too.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
I
for
don't
being
love-
20 years old.
I don't love werewolf movies, but I love a good transformation scene, and this is a very good one. I love seeing the skin just like flop off.
Yeah.
I see
I
what
love
your
how
wi-
sexual it is for
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
and I see what your wife is saying, that this is a very climatic, bombastic scene, and it's kind of hard to like reset after this. But I think the next one, because it focuses on Sam and he's kind of the icon of this, I see why
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
ended on
Because you
that
don't know
one.
anything about
Totally.
him, what he's doing. And I also think that if the next segment had like come before this or any other place, it would just feel I get what
No,
she's
I
saying.
agree.
'Cause the
I
next
mean,
segment could be kind of a downer,
Mhm.
but I also love it. Like,
But
I
the way
love
it ties
the
into
yell.
the whole mythology of the town, though, too, is why I feel like you always had to end on this next one.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
to Jason,
Sorry to your wife, I don't agree with her.
I
I
told
know,
her
it's
I
just a
didn't- I
valid-
told her I
So
didn't
I hope
agree
she's not
either, guys.
listening.
It works on different levels. I see what you're saying.
If tomorrow you're like, what the fuck did I say? Just let me know and I'll edit it all out. It's okay.
I love my wife, but I'm the screenwriter.
Oh.
Damn. You know who I am?
Next time he comes on, he's going to be single. No, I'm just
Newly divorced, Joe Russo. These free ladies.
Hello.
No werewolves, please apply.
Yeah.
All right. Our final segment is titled Sam. So we kind of go back in time a little bit to see what was going on with Mr. Krieg. He's a curmudgeon Halloween hater who dresses up his dog to scare off trick-or-treaters from his doorstep.
Real fast,
That's
that dog is cute as fuck.
I
That is a
know.
cute dog. God damn.
Also, can we just say it's
Mhm.
Brian Cox?
Yes.
It's
Brian
Brian
Cox.
fucking
Without
Cox.
without his monkey prison.
Brian Cox's monkey jail. I think of it every time I watch this movie.
I will say that it is very fun for people who were really introduced to Brian Cox with Succession to show them this movie over the
Mhm.
last couple of years and watch them be like, "Holy shit!" You know.
No, it's very unexpected.
Right.
I mean, off topic too. There's not a little known movie called Red, not the action movie, but it's based off a Jack Ketchum novel, and Jack Ketchum is like the fucking love. If you like reading horror fiction, John Ketchum is the man. My favorite art.
John Ketchum or Jack Ketchum?
Jack Ketchum.
Okay.
Like literally, he passed away I think 2 years ago, but literally my favorite author of all time. But I had a point. I lost but anyway, Brian Cox stars in the movie. The edible kicked in, and it's a different strain that I'm used to. I'm sorry. Like, I'm super giggly right now. I just want to fucking laugh at everything. But the fuck, dude? Like, I tried to. It was on sale for Friday the 13th. So I think I got a little sale.
You're talking about, okay.
Brian Cox.
Yeah,
Brian Cox. There's a sale right now.
Brian
Hashtag ad.
Brian Cox, Green Dispensary, Las Vegas, great dispensary. Brian Cox in Red based on a novel by Jack Ketchum is phenomenal, and it's criminal that more people haven't seen that. Definitely seek it out. It's definitely got horror elements to it, animal cruelty in this. It's about and this is not spoilers, but it's about someone killing the man's dog, and he's now gonna take matters into his own hands, kind of like John Wick.
So
Like John Wick,
John Wick ripped it off.
Maybe.
All right.
The other thing about Brian Cox, just to continue on the Brian Cox vamp, we were totally derailing Jason. It's driving him nuts.
You go off on the Cox.
Is the other thing is that people who are just like, oh, Logan Roy, right? Like, I'm like, did you know he was also Hannibal Lecter? And then their brains explode.
Yeah. That was a great scene. That scene is amazing.
I look, Manhunter, I adore. They screened it at Beyond Fest this year. I could not get a ticket for the life of me, and I think will forever be one of my great regrets. Michael Mann was there. It was his personal 70 millimeter print.
Man.
Yeah. Anyway, but
we're going.
That's still an open wound.
That movie's so good and it's so fun, like introducing people to have never seen it but are big fans of Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah.
Because they're both great movies, but they're so different and have different tones. And but and that's not a knock on either one.
Did
They're
you
just
like
different.
Red Dragon? Do you want to watch a better version of it?
Yeah.
All right.
I love that movie. And Gil Grissom from CSI. I forgot the actor's name.
Yeah.
But Gil.
Yeah. He's great in it. Good soundtrack too.
All right,
really
back to Trick or Treat.
Trick or Treat.
In Trick or Treat.
And the wheelchair scene. Holy shit!
Yeah, that's a good scene. Okay, as the night proceeds, Krieg encounters escalating phenomena. The house is egged. The lawn is filled with ornate jack-o'-lanterns, and the hallways and ceilings are scrawled with Halloween and Samhain greetings. Krieg is ambushed.
Samhain.
Thank you, Whitney.
Sorry,
Samhain.
I'm trying to read it at the same time. I can't read it.
Oh, you're gonna die.
Dr. Loomis and Halloween too does say
I know.
Samhain, and it fucks me up for life. So
if you are not watching the YouTube version of our podcast right now, you need to do so and to see Whitney's look of disgust on her face as Jason spit those words out of his mouth.
I know. I need like
That's
a soundboard with Dr. Loomis quotes on it.
I immediately wanted to give him shit because that's what I do.
Mondo
but
Frost.
I saw your face. It's if you freeze on this platform, and God, put a marker now. I have to edit this part out.
I'm putting a marker down.
If we freeze on this platform, pretend like you didn't freeze because it's still, we're all in real time. It's just buffering on one end or the other.
Yeah, because you come back in, you come back in really fast.
Yeah.
Okay. Krieg is ambushed by Sam. In their struggle, Krieg eventually managed to unmask his assailant, whose head resembles a grotesque hybrid of a skull and a jack-o'-lantern. Krieg shoots Sam several times with a shotgun, apparently killing him, but only pumpkin guts come out, which I love that effect.
Oh,
it's so cool.
Yeah.
His little hand comes off and it like crawls back.
It's got like little pumpkin guts coming out. All right. However,
so
Sam
cute.
begins to reanimate and incapacitates and corners Krieg. Instead of killing him, Sam impales a candy bar in Krieg's lap, complete.
Okay, that yell though that Brian Cox does, where he's like,
Okay, satisfied. Sam
so much.
spares a confused Krieg and ominously departs. Meanwhile, photographs burn in the fireplace, revealing that Krieg was the driver from the school bus massacre.
Bum, 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 bum,
Bum, bum, bum. Then a heavily bandaged Krieg gives candy to trick-or-treaters. On his front porch, he witnesses other characters from the film mill about observing Halloween traditions. Billy sits on his father's front porch, waiting for him to come home, but he never will.
Orphan,
handing out candy and enjoying himself. Rhonda crosses the street, casually pulling her wagon filled with jack-o'-lanterns. Lori and her friends drive by, laughing to each other. Emma and Henry arrive home, and Sam witnesses Emma prematurely extinguishing jack-o'-lanterns and moves in to kill her. Krieg, are you laughing at premature jack-o'-lanterns?
premature,
That's exactly what I'm doing.
premature extinguishing.
Krieg answers another knock at the door, only to be greeted by the undead children from the bus, who brutally tear him apart as revenge for their murder. As we cut to black.
Good ending.
Do you think that them going to the kids going to the like mine, was it a mine? It wasn't a mine. What is that called?
A quarry.
A quarry. Yes, that stirred up the ghosts to go after and kill him, because it's been a long time.
Yeah, maybe.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah, I like that.
But
like
they reawaken.
whatever they did, summon the spirits.
Well, didn't we say earlier that jack-o'-lanterns help guide spirits back, and didn't Rhonda carry her jack-o'-lanterns back from the quarry with her? So I don't know. Maybe that
she had a lot of jack-o'-lanterns too.
Yeah,
that's a good. Ooh, I like
good
that.
ball.
I mean, I'm putting that together now. I'm riffing, guys, but it makes a lot of sense.
Dude, that makes a lot of sense.
I get it.
So
I like it.
He spares Brian Cox when he stabs him with the lollipop.
He stabs him with like a razor, right?
He stabs him
or
with
the lollipop.
The lollipop
the ones with the
he's
candy.
He's going to kill Emma with.
And he goes into the candy bar, and that's when he's like, "Oh," takes a bite of candy, and okay. Was that basically
just
him
walks
just
away.
saying, "Oh, you gave me candy, we're good now"?
I think so.
because I love there's a nice touch that then when other people came to the door, Brian Cox is like, "Fuck, I have to give him candy," and he's obviously giving him like the old people candy that they have on a coffee table somewhere in an urn that nobody knows how it got there.
Like,
yeah, it's fucking restaurant mints.
That's exactly what it is. It's Sam. He didn't give Sam,
but yeah,
until he gives Sam
no, because afterwards,
candy.
Yeah.
Because afterwards, when the people come by, he starts handing out a ton of candy to each person.
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, he's learned his lesson.
Yep. But I just love it because the candy stuff he just found like in his house. Like, you know, like go buy candy for kids.
It's just like, here's a pillow mint. Here's a half wad of gum.
we
some saltine crackers.
We are a full size candy bar house, so that bullshit wouldn't fly.
Oh, big spender there.
Dude, it's one of my joys. It's one of my joys in life. Sorry, I'm gonna spend some money on it.
I will say,
what do you think of the whole Sam attack?
I was just gonna say the action in this sequence is great. Like, it's really well shot and choreographed and fun, and Sam crawling along the walls. And I think probably the most epic shot though is when like the pumpkin ignites in the bedroom and it's got all the writing on the walls. It's such an iconic moment.
I also like that you get to see the perspective of this going along with like Mr. Wilkins in the backyard, and like he's like giving finger and all this shit, and he's like, help me, he's like, fuck you. And so you get half of it, and then you see the other half and with like the dog and the barking and all these things. And so it makes it really fun again to watch it more than once, but just kind of to see. If you watch it a second time, you can look in the background and realize, like, when he's yelling, like he's fucking dying, like he's getting attacked, basically.
Yeah, no, it really brings all the stories together, which is why my wife was wrong.
Careful there.
She's probably just seething in the other room right now.
Oh. But she doesn't listen to Dads in the Crypt?
Yeah. No, you know, Jason, she's a regular listener. She really is.
Okay.
Jason's giving us social media, making sound bites and tagging her social media.
She listens to all 115 episodes.
3,000.
Yeah.
With interviews.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, we can't state enough how just, again, practical effects just are so much cooler. Like the whole the hybrid skull jack-o'-lantern face thing is just so fucking cool.
Great.
He's so cute with his little sack on his head. He's so cute without a sack on his head. I love Sam. I think he's my favorite like horror icon because this has become a like cult classic film, and he's adorable. Like, he's just so cute. How could I just want him on everything?
Diana Prince asked literally earlier on Twitter today. She asked, "Is Sam a Halloween icon?" The answer was a resounding yes.
Yes, absolutely. I think he's not even just a Halloween icon. I think he's a horror icon. Like, I think he's among, like, I personally think like he's who do we have after? You got Michael, Jason, Freddy, okay, and then you've got Pinhead.
Ghostface.
Maybe. I think Victor Crowley
I think
is
it's
still
definitely
pretty niche.
Victor Crowley. I'm saying Mr. Crowley.
Art the Clown?
Art the Clown now,
yeah, Art
but
the Clown's
like
the newest.
between like Freddy and like Pinhead to now, it's like hard to think of somebody else. And it's only one movie. The fact of the matter is, like, Art the Clown has 2 movies.
I mean, there's been
Sam has 1.
There's been 10 Saw movies now, or X-Saw movies.
Jigsaw is a horror icon too. So Jigsaw's a puppet more than anything. Billy.
Yeah, I'm thinking from the 2000s, the biggest horror icons are definitely, Sam and Jigsaw, maybe Samara from The Ring, but that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I wouldn't even think of her as one. Like, I'm thinking about people you see on shirts and stuff.
Yeah, Sam's a fun character, and I think what the telling point of how great it is here we are talking about a movie that came out 15 years ago, and we're still excited at the potential of a sequel because we still want to see more of this character and more of these stories. So
it's criminal that he hasn't had anything else.
Take your Godzilla money and my second one, I will say, and we're not talking about it, but I also love Krampus. So I just want my shorties.
I'm a big Krampus
If
fan.
you don't make Trick or Treat 2, that's fine. Go make Valentine's Day. Go make Arbor Day horror. Go make same like Leprechaun movie. Maybe don't do that one.
I really do love the fact that he didn't make a Trick or Treat sequel. He made a Christmas horror movie next. Like, I think it's kind of a really special thing. And honestly, both of these movies are in my holiday rotations now.
Same here.
Oh, yeah.
Every year. And the comics, the graphic novels are also really good. I have both the Krampus and Trick or Treat, and you get to see the comics like the beginning of the credits, and it's really cool.
All right. So as we wrap up, why don't you give any final thoughts, and which is your segment MVP? Joe, you can start us off.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even think about it. I would have to say which segment was my MVP. I think the one that I probably enjoy the most, probably mostly because I usually fall asleep after this point when I'm rewatching it, but it's probably Dylan Baker and his son and the carving the jack-o'-lantern. I think that still might be like the one I watch. Well, it's definitely the one I've seen the most without falling asleep. But that's not a knock on the movie. That's more on just like I start this movie too late. Because it's like a warm blanket.
I hear that. I can sleep through anything.
I want to wrap myself in it. Like, it's just perfect Halloween vibes, and it just.
Hey, I fell asleep to Eraserhead twice. I can sleep through anything.
There you go.
Yeah. That movie just like gives me a stomach ache. Apparently
it lulls me to sleep. I'm just like, the sweet sounds of David Lynch's noise.
They did a really cool. Shudder did a really cool. You know how they do those like jack-o'-lantern Yule log things?
School log,
yeah. They did a Trick or Treat one year.
Yeah,
and it was just the 1 year because they only had the license for like a year. And it was great. I fell asleep to that.
I must have missed it.
That's awesome. All right, Mondo.
I forgot the question. It's okay.
Do you like the movie?
Overall thoughts and segment MVP.
If I had to give it out of 5, I'd say 5. So yeah, it was okay. One of my favorite things, and I mentioned earlier, Hubie Halloween. The reason why I like that movie is I'm a sucker for Halloween set pieces.
Yeah.
And this whole movie is Halloween set pieces. And I love like literally every second of the screen. And it makes me nostalgic and it makes me happy. So what I'll say is this should be on everybody's list. And for if you're like us and old, if you're over 40, you don't want to watch a movie that's 2 hours long, right? Who wants to watch Martin Scorsese's an amazing director. But fuck, dude, like 3 hours, 4 hours? But it's a brisk hour and 20 minutes. Everyone should watch this every Halloween, and everyone should be just sending Michael Dougherty money for fucking Trick or Treat 2. Let's do it.
All right. And Mondo, which is your favorite segment?
Oh, the last one. I like the one with Brian Cox, but I just love seeing Brian Cox, the way he acts that and kind of goes over the top when it needs to be over the top. And I also love the fact of him all wrapped up at the end and handing candy out. That's.
I love his yell with the candy bar. Just gets me every time.
He redeemed himself with Sam, but he still killed a bunch of kids. So Sam was cool with him.
You don't really get to
redeem
but
Sam
yourself.
was cool with him because he's following Halloween tradition. At least he learned that. But the kids still have to get their piece,
Sam is not God. Sam is not here to judge you for your past actions. Trick or treat, motherfucker. Yeah. Give me a treat or I'm going to give you a treat.
I don't care what you did. You gave me a piece of candy. We're fucking, I see you handing candy out. We're good.
All right. Whitney, what's your segment MVP?
I gotta agree that I love Principal Wilkins and his son just because the yelling back and forth between the door, like out the window, just makes me laugh. So I'd have to go with that one just because I love Charlie Brown's an asshole. I want that on a t-shirt. I'm going to make it. I'm going to crochet or cross stitch. Charlie Brown's an asshole.
That should be your next tattoo.
Yeah. Oh my God. I really should.
Do you have a Sam tattoo?
I don't have a Sam
You should
tattoo.
get a Sam
I
tattoo
should
and Charles
get
Brown's
one.
an asshole underneath.
Fuck, that would actually be really good.
Um,
Okay, Polly Pocket and then a Sam tattoo.
There you
go. Very similar.
My tattoo artist is working on designing an arm sleeve for me, and that's two of the. I gave him a list of horror people that I want, but Sam is in there and the Crypt Keeper's in there. I'm like, I gotta have those two.
Nice.
Yeah, I'll need a Sam tattoo.
Yeah. So my final thought is this movie's just Halloween the vibe. Like it's just dripping the vibes of Halloween. If there's any movie that'll get you in the spirit, like it's like, you know, John Carpenter's Halloween and Trick or Treat. Those are like the two, and you know, Hocus Pocus. Or like yeah.
Halloween Town.
Like,
no, you're right though. The vibes, it's Halloween the vibe. Like my friend's doing a horror movie every Friday night in October.
Nice.
And we started with Suspiria, and then we did House, and we're gonna do Barbarian, but then I was like, we need to do Trick or Treat because it's really short. We're all like going basically to a party after, and it's just like it's the Halloween movie, and it's just fun. So it's like I want to introduce it to people who've probably never seen it and get some more Trick or Treat lovers out there.
Nice. Yeah, my segment MVP is, I think I'm going with the Surprise Party, the werewolf one. Again, I don't love werewolf movies, but I like a good transformation, and this is kind of just like that, like distilled. And I like there's so much
all the Little Red Riding Hoods and their bustiers, though, right?
Well, it does have a cheerleader, but no, the transformation scene is amazing, and there's so many good little lines that like every time you pick up on one you didn't get before. And the Paquin is just a treasure.
Yeah,
I was talking about with Alyssa and on Plug It Up about Trick or Treat as well, and I can't remember what it is, but they even like the meadow they're going to is like it's like sheep's meadow or something.
It's like sheepskin or something like that.
Even wolf in sheep's clothing. So you gotta rewatch it and pick up on all of them because it's a movie that is better on multiple watches. I think.
Well, I think the first time is more of a visceral reaction to everything and like the surprises, and then each time after is more richer in the context stuff.
Yeah, and you get look forward to your favorite parts and recognize people in the background because everybody's always kind of overlapping into each other's because it's not a sequential movie, is that what you call it? Where it's like
non-linear,
out of order, non-linear.
Yeah,
sandbox movie.
No.
All right. Well, that brings us to our song of the day, Mondo.
Oh,
did you forget to do one?
No, I didn't. So
it's not going to be the song from the movie that we will not discuss.
It's not even going to be a metal song. It's going to be something a little bit different for this because it fits in. So there's a band called the Electric Hellfire Club, based off the Hellfire Club, which Benjamin Franklin was a member of. Just saying, he liked his Hellfire. But it's they do kind of like dark wave, industrial, Halloween kind of. They've done a lot of cool covers of it. They did like Slayer's South of Heaven, a bunch of other stuff they've done, and but they did a EP called Trick or Treat back in the mid '90s, and the song I picked off that EP is Halloween Medley. It's a medley of some various Halloween songs, and it's really cool. It's done like it's kind of a chill, I guess, dark wave. I say dark wave like I know what that means. I don't know what that means. I think that means like dark electronic, like synthwave, which I like synthwave. So dark wave sounds like synthwave, just scarier. So I guess that makes sense for me.
Spooky.
So
spooky synthwave, spook wave.
So I don't know if it's on Apple Music or Spotify, but it's on YouTube Music. So the Electric Hellfire Club Halloween Medley off the EP Trick or Treat.
Thank you, Mondo. All right, going over to our Patreon pit. We have a new Patreon. Welcome, James, to the Patreon.
Thank you, James.
Thank you, James.
Welcome.
All right, James. For our weekly Would You Rather.
What, James? Sorry.
Oh, I just wanted to say I have a song recommendation too. It's Sweet Dreams Are Made of This by Marilyn Manson.
Tell us more about Marilyn Manson, please. We go all day.
Anyway,
cut it.
Your wife's gonna love this episode. All right. Our weekly would you rather? Would you rather have wet socks or a rock in your shoe? While you guys ponder that, we had a wonderful Patreon named Whitney say, small rock. You can eventually take it out. Wet socks are awful and can't be fixed until you get new socks.
I had wet socks at Disneyland once, and I was so upset. Like I had to leave. I was like, "We're done. We're leaving. I'm done with Disneyland for the day."
No, I have a very vivid memory of as a kid. We went to like Anheuser-Busch amusement park, and I remember it was raining really hard, and my socks were just soggy. It was just like squishing, like walking like a dirty sponge all day.
And you're like, your toes get wrinkly, but they're in a sock, and it's a very weird feeling. I was an adult when this happened, where I left Disneyland, but still, it's incredibly upsetting.
I agree. I say rock in my shoe.
Yeah.
I have questions, but I will say though, when I was in San Francisco, actually seeing Jason 10 on a Terror Tuesday, I stepped in a puddle and I don't know what it was because it wasn't raining outside, so I threw it in my.
Yes.
Oh no.
The reason you don't wear open toe shoes in the Bay Area.
They weren't open toe. They still went in the trash can. I bought another pair of shoes at Target.
I can always tell if it's a tourist wearing flip-flops.
Right. Joe, what's your opinion on this?
Oh,
very important topic.
You said
my shoe all the way.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'm being in Las Vegas where it's 1,000 degrees. I always wear flip-flops. So so that means wet socks wouldn't affect me like 95% of the time.
No, yeah. I mean, living in Southern California, I pretty much always wear either flip-flops or Keens. Like,
yeah.
The only time I wear shoes, like, if I'm being paid to go somewhere, like for work purposes.
Yeah.
I love sneakers too much to like not be excited. I mean, all my outfits are planned around my sneakers half the time. So.
All right. And just to cap it off.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. When he's talking about shoes again.
75% of our Patreons voted for small rock, while 25% wet socks. So 25% of our Patreons are sadomasochists. So that's interesting. All right, and to round out the episode with our dad advice, I thought we could give some other Halloween advice, do's and don'ts, with or without kids. What's your Halloween tips? What's your go-tos?
When you're carving a pumpkin, just cut up a trash bag to carve your pumpkin on. So then you can just gather that up and throw all the guts away. And then once you've carved it, you can take like Vaseline and rub it on the inside of your pumpkin and it will last longer. Ooh. Really great tip for warmer climates.
That's awesome.
I did not know that.
I never do that. And I just like the way they look like a grandpa. I'm always carving on like the day before Halloween anyway. And it's like, I leave it in my house. Like, what am I going to do? Put it on my balcony? Like no one's going to see it.
During the pandemic.
Those are my Halloween tips.
During the pandemic, I was carving a pumpkin a week because, what the hell else were we doing? And so, I got really good at carving them, and I was carving some really awesome pumpkins. And a friend of mine was like, because we live in Southern California, and they were rotting days later. He's like, there are these things called funkins, where you can carve them. They're like literally like designed to be carved into. They're not pumpkins; they're fake. I don't know exactly what they're made of, but
they're almost like a styrofoam.
It's like a styrofoam, and it definitely has a different feel. Like it doesn't feel like carving into a fruit. But I will say they look good. They hold up. I mean, they hold up great. Like they last you all Halloween. Highly recommend looking into Funkins. If you like carving pumpkins.
You can also carve your pumpkin in the bottom to make your hole. You don't have to carve it from the top and the stem and like fuck it up and then it falls in or anything. So you can just carve the hole in the bottom.
I guess since we're talking pumpkins, my advice is you can sprinkle a little bit of vinegar in and around the pumpkin to get the squirrels to stay away. That's my biggest issue is that we like carve our pumpkins, we leave them out, and by the time the next morning rolls around, they're all chewed up by squirrels.
Oh, wow. Goddamn desert squirrels I get out here in Las Vegas.
But yeah, I mean, it's like it was 93 degrees today, so it's like you can't even put out any vegetation. They're also just
That's
raw.
why Funkin.
Man, it was nicer here.
You should get a Funkin.
Funkins.
Get a Funkin.
Yeah. All right, Mondo. Anything you want to
Don't give out shitty candy to kids.
They're kids.
Get the good candy.
Give them edibles. Give them weed.
Give them we do
That's
not.
what you get for having a kid. Here's my $25 edibles.
Yeah, no one's gonna
just
hand
giving away to children.
No one's gonna. Could you imagine? Like, fuck that. Like,
no, that'd be so expensive. Like,
it'd be the most
like giving a child a weed chocolate bar. You're like, fuck, that was $20, dude.
Am I going to lace Halloween candy with $5 worth of drugs? Yes. No, no, I'm not. I guess that's some fucking bullshit. Get full size candy bars. Just give them out. Like, you'll be the hero.
Amen.
Kel was
full size score bars.
Kel was like, well, I think we should be careful because last time I'm pretty sure we had a couple of the same groups come by twice. I said, fuck it. If our house is the best and they want to come back and get another full size candy bar, they can come get another goddamn full size candy bar.
That's effort on their part to double back. Like, why would you not reward someone working smarter? Harder.
Can I say the last few years I've seen some older kids trick or treating, dressed up, and probably high school age, and yeah, fucking good for them. Like,
good.
Hold on to that shit.
I want to trick or treat this year.
That was the best part of having kids. I was like, I can trick or treat now for 18 more years.
Can I volunteer to take children trick or treating so I can do it, or is that very?
If you want to come down and take my kids trick or treating, you're more than welcome to.
Hold a second, Whitney, you might be able to do that, but if Jason or I try to do that,
right? I'll take it.
My name is Jason. I have a hockey mask. I'd like to take your kids trick or treating.
Somehow, Jason, the hockey mask would be less intimidating.
I'm like,
okay.
I'm like 6'4", showing up at your house.
You're gonna be like those kids that get excited when they see have you ever seen videos of kids that see a fucking scary monster and the kid goes up and hugs it and I'm like, that's a good kid.
Yeah.
You will get them.
All right. Well, that wraps up another episode. Whitney and Joe, thank you so much for coming. Tell people where they can find you.
Go ahead.
You first.
I am Whitney Please on Instagram and ohmyhorror.com to check out my movie challenge.
All right, Joe.
And you can find me on the social medias at Joe Russo Tweets and at Joe Russo Graham on Twitter and Instagram, respectively.
And what's that small other indie show that you're on?
Oh, Postmortem with Mick Garris. You can find me there.
Yeah, it's kind of well known. You might hear it. It's very indie, full of cool kids.
Everyone should be listening.
We've interviewed a couple filmmakers you've heard of.
Yeah. Here's a question. What's a Mick doing for Halloween? I need a Mick report.
Mick usually goes to his friend Bill Malone's house, the director of the Haunting on Hill House remake. Yeah. Bill kind of goes all out, and he's kind of right in the middle of a peak trick-or-treating neighborhood, and so they all sit on the porch and hang out and hand out candy and watch a movie. That's his usual go-to for Halloween.
Love it.
So weird.
Jason, get us an invite to this.
If I knew, I know Al knows him, but we'll see.
See, right now, Jason is trying to hold it together like an American Psycho. He's just so angry he hasn't got an invite to any of these.
Okay.
I've never been invited.
If anyone can score an invite
for Halloween either, so
damn it.
If anyone can score an invite, though, I believe it's gonna be Jason.
Probably.
We'll see.
He slides into DMs real well.
He shimmies on into those.
He's like, "Hello, I'm Jason. Would you like to go trick or treating?"
For the record,
would you like to talk about Brian Cox? Like some Cox talk. We should do a Brian Cox tribute podcast called Cox Talks.
Cox Talks.
All right. Well, next week we'll be back to covering Tales from the Crypt episodes, starting with Smoke Rings, and we only have 5 left in the whole series. Can you believe that?
Wow.
Oh my god. You can start over from the beginning and just like do it all over again.
We're just gonna change our name and everything and just start rebranding.
You know what you could do? Those new Goosebumps episodes.
Yeah, no, I was looking at those too. There's a lot of ideas. We're not going anywhere.
Good.
I'll just say that.
Are you afraid of the dark?
Yeah.
Tales from the Crypt animated. I know. Are you afraid of the dark?
Yeah.
Have me on every episode. I bought it on Amazon Prime to watch because you can't find it streaming. Fine,
very hard
I'll
to
buy
track
it.
down.
We can only do it if we can think of a cool dad pun for the title. So that's gonna be a tough one.
I used to listen to one that was called Are You Afraid of the Podcast? So you can't use that. That was very good.
No, just keep
Dad's Afraid of the Dark.
And just move on to other anthology stuff. I think you're.
Yeah, you're still in the crypt.
Yeah.
We live in the crypt at this point. We have art.
What you could do is change the artwork change the like logo to be the font of the show. That you're doing at the time. Like still have the classic, but
you're saying
if you're doing like Tales just spend more money.
Yeah.
Sign up for Patreon so we can get more album art.
There we go.
And I want to retire. Just saying.
All right. We appreciate everyone for listening. We would really appreciate if you give us a rating and review on iTunes, a rating on Spotify. Check out our YouTube for videos of these podcasts. And with that, we thank you for listening to Dads from the Crypt. Happy Halloween.
Goodbye.
Nothing, Mondo?
Nothing. Happy Halloween. Happy Sam Hain.
Oh, no.
Follow Dads from the Crypt on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, or I will follow you to the grave. No, seriously, you really should watch. But be careful what you ask for. You may get it.